You ever walk away from a chat feeling like you just agreed to something you didn't really want to? Yeah, that's a classic sign of what we're going to get into today: dark psychology. And just to be clear, we're not learning these tricks to use them. Nope. We're learning them so we can build a rock-solid shield against them.
It's such a weird feeling, right? Like you're a puppet. You're being gently guided, or maybe not so gently pushed, into a decision or an emotion that just doesn't feel like your own. That exact feeling, that sense of being controlled, is really the core of what dark psychology is all about. Now, this isn't some new, trendy idea. For centuries, thinkers and philosophers have pointed out that there's let's call it a darker potential inside human nature. This isn't really about being good or evil. It's about understanding the psychological currents that can push people to influence and, yeah, sometimes control others, all for their own benefit. So when we talk about dark psychology, please don't picture some cackling villain in a movie. It's much more subtle than that. We're talking about persuasive tactics that pop up everywhere, at the office, in your friend group, sometimes even at the family dinner table. A lot of these manipulative urges are actually wired into our most basic instincts, kind of like our fight or flight response. They're not always meant to be malicious, but when those instincts aren't kept in check, when they're not consciously controlled, they can absolutely be used to hurt people.
Okay, so let's get into the playbook. To really spot manipulation in the wild, you first have to understand what makes these personalities tick. What are the core ingredients?
Psychologists have this term, and it's a great one: the dark triad. It's a cocktail of 3 specific personality traits, and when you find all 3 in one person, well, the chances that they'll engage in manipulative behavior or even commit crimes goes way, way up. So, first up in the triad is narcissism. And listen, this goes so far beyond just being a little vain or liking your selfies. For a true narcissist, their entire self-worth is tied to getting admiration from others. So the second they feel criticized, that fragile ego kicks into high gear and manipulative behavior can come roaring out. Next, we've got Machiavellianism. And yeah, it's named after that, Machiavelli. For someone with this trait, the motto is simple: the end always justifies the means. Other people's feelings, your well-being, that's all just collateral damage on their path to getting exactly what they want.
And the final piece of the triad is psychopathy. The absolute defining feature here is a chilling, profound lack of empathy and no remorse. They can cause incredible harm and not feel a single shred of guilt. That's what makes them so dangerously effective as manipulators.
So how does this stuff actually show up in real life? Well, it often takes one of 2 forms. You've got the obvious one, the bully, who uses threats and intimidation. But, and this is key, there's an equally powerful approach: the victim. This person uses fake emotions and piles on the guilt to get you to do exactly what they want. Look at how sneaky these tactics are. Planting doubt can so easily be disguised as just, concerned advice. Mirroring can make you feel like you've found a soulmate. It's this subtlety, this clever disguise that makes them so powerful and so incredibly hard to spot. All right, since these tactics are so subtle, spotting them means you gotta learn a new skill. You have to learn how to decode the hidden language that manipulators are using all the time. So let's break down how you can actually read the signs as they're happening. 55%. That's a staggering number, isn't it? More than half of what somebody is actually communicating to you isn't in their words at all. It's in their face, their hands, their posture. And this, right here, is why learning to read body language is absolutely essential if you want to spot a manipulator. So here's the absolute crucial point. Think about it. When someone says, "Oh yeah, I'm fine," but their arms are crossed tight and they won't look you in the eye, which message do you believe? You believe the body language. Every time. This mismatch, this gap between words and actions, is a massive red flag that something is off.
This right here is your framework. This is how you avoid jumping to the wrong conclusion. For example, if someone's crossing their arms, they might just be cold. That's context. So before you assume anything, you have to look for clusters of signals. And of course, check for that congruence we were just talking about.
Okay, knowing the signs. That's step 1. Now let's get to step 2, actually building your mental shield. We're going to talk about the fundamental rights you have that act as your self-defense. This is the secret right here. The entire game a manipulator plays is designed to make you forget you have rights.
the right to say no, the right to have your own feelings, the right to be treated with respect. Simply knowing that you have these rights is in itself a powerful act of defiance against them. You need to burn these rights into your brain. Seriously. These aren't privileges you have to earn. They are the bedrock of any healthy human interaction. A manipulator's power comes from convincing you to forget them. Remembering them is how you start to take your own power back. And here's the beautiful paradox of it all. A lot of manipulators, especially the bully types, are deeply insecure. They are predators looking for easy targets. The moment you stand up, the moment you show them you have a backbone, you are no longer an easy target. And more often than not, they will back down. Think of this as your emergency checklist, a quick mental scan you can run whenever you start to feel that pressure. Is this fair? Is this balanced? Asking yourself these simple questions can cut right through the emotional fog and give you the clarity you need in that moment.
Look, at the end of the day, this isn't about becoming suspicious of everyone or looking for a manipulator under every rock. It's about empowerment. It's about giving yourself the tools to navigate the world and to make sure the relationships you're building are real and based on mutual respect, not on control. So, you now have the tools, you know the signals, and you know how to build your defense. The only question left is how are you going to use this knowledge to protect your own peace of mind and build the kind of authentic connections that you actually deserve?